ರೈಟ್. ಸರಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಮೈಕ್ ಅದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದೇನು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ತೀರಾ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಮುಂದೆ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಬೋರ್ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೀಗಿರಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಏನು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಪಾಠ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಇವಾಗ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಈಚೆ ತಿರ್ಸೋಣವಾ? ಹೀಗೆ ಬೋರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚೆ ಬರೆಯಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿ. ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು ಬರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಬದಲು. ಹಾಂ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ, ನನಗೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡೋಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೋರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಾ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ, ತೊಂದರೆ. Yesterday we are discussing tribal uprising, right? And how many of you went through that Tribal India book? I told you to go through Tribal India book, which was written by my master, Nadim Hasnain sir. Tribal India. See, there is two beautiful books which is written by him. Indian Anthropology, the first book. No, this Tribal India was the first book. Indian Anthropology is the new book. And this is the old edition, okay? After this, 3 or 4 new editions just came out. After this, the next 2 edition, after this, the next 2 second edition. I guess this is 6th or 5th, right? Which edition? The book which is there with me, that was the 8th edition book. And today it reached to double digit, okay? Even today he is including something and he is giving new editions for that book. That means what? Even today he is working, right? So don't look at that. Look at me. Forget. Blur agli. Forget that. Focus. Irli. ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಹಾಂ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಶೇಕ್ ಆದಾಗ ಬ್ಲರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇದು ಟಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸೈನ್ಸ್. ಹಾಂ, ಇವಾಗ ಬ್ಲರ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಇರಲಿ, ಅದು ಗಾಳಿಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬ್ಲರ್ ಆಗಲಿ. ನೀವು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬೇಡ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ. ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ, ಓಕೆ? ಅದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಗೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದು ಸಿಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಳಾದರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಂತ, ರೈಟ್? ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಟ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಮೀ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್, ಓಕೆ? ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ವೆಂಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಬುಕ್? ನೋಬಡಿ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಬುಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಬುಕ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟೋಡಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕುರಗ. ಬುಕ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಮೀನ್. ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್, ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಗೈಸ್? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಬುಕ್. ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಯು ಎಂಟರ್ ಲಬಾಸ್ನ, ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ದಟ್ ಬುಕ್, ಓಕೆ? ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್, before you are entering to Labasna, there was 3 or 4 months gap. Just go through that book. Should have that much confidence. 21 years exam ಬರೀತೀನಿ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಡೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಥ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಲಬಾಸ್ನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಗಿಗೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಒನ್ ಡೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಏನು, ನಿಮಗೆ ನೀವೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಕೆಲವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, 2 kinds ಆಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. UPSC ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರದ್ದು 2 kinds ಆಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ? one kind of person, they're introvert. ಅವ್ರ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸತಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ, ಕೆಲವು ಸತಿ ಕಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ನಿಯರ್ ಬೈ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅನದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, and for this introvert and as well as this extrovert, both are human being, right? One point of time ಅವರಿಗೆ ಡಿಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, one point of time ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, one point of time ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈವನ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ he will fall into a depression. At that time the possibility of quitting was more in this person, introvert. Extrovert quit ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವ್ನು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಮಾಡಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಕ್ವಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್? ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ. ವೈ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಬಾಂಬ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. And what are the subjects you are studying? The subjects which itself is good subjects, like which is needed, something which is there in and around you. The economy, the environment. Without economy, there is no market, right? Without environment, there is no you, right? Without geography, there is no right? What you are learning? Without polity, there is no government. Without history, you don't know anything. You can't grade history, right? So the subjects which is there here, this is not something physics or chemistry, microbiology or nuclear science or rocket science, something which is very unique and which is not something outside from the public. That is not the case. It is something which is there in and around you, right? That is what you are learning. So what is the shame thing in discussing, or what is the shame thing in revealing you are preparing for UPSC? Just reveal to everybody. Put a status, I am preparing for UPSC. Don't disturb me. I am not available. Reason, UPSC aspirant. Okay, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ರಿಮೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದಟ್ ಡೇ ಯು ಪುಟ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್, ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ಯು? ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಓ ಹೌದು ನಾವು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಈಗ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇವನಿಗೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇವನಿಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಕಾಷನ್ಸ್ ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ರಿಮೈಂಡರ್ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಹಿಮ್, ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇವನೊಂದು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು 6 months ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವ್ ಫುಲ್ ಲೇಸಿ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಅದೇ ಥರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಇವನಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಓಹೋ ನನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೋಪ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್. ಸೊ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್, ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 types ಇದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಏನೇನೋ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್. UPSC aspirant plus extrovert, that is good, because that's very sensitive. Sensible extrovert, that is a good, best thing you can be. Okay, what is TODA? Describe the lifestyle of TODAs. Anybody? How many of you did research regarding TODAs yesterday? What happened to you both boys? ನೀವು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಐ ಗೇವ್ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್, ರೈಟ್? TODA ನೆನಪಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ? ಓಕೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ? TODA ಬಗ್ಗೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಬೇರೆ? ಓಕೆ, ಸೇ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್.
TODA ಟ್ರೈಬ್ಸ್ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನ ಸೈಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪೂಜಾ ಸುಮಲನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಬಫೆಲೋ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನು ಅವರು
ಸೈಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ. ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ವೆಜಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್. And their kitchen is very sacred for them. Their kitchen. ಫಿಶ್ ತಿಂತಾರೆ. ಎಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವರ ದೇವತೆ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಫೆಲೋ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ನಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲಿಯಾಂಡ್ರಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರ ಸಮಾಜನೆಲ್ಲ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ.
That is not only within TODA, all South Indian tribes, same culture. Again, I will come to that discussing social issues.
Dravidian language people who live in settlements, which is called Man, and they have arched roof and wooden frame houses.
Exactly.
And trading of dairy products.
That is their livelihood.
Trading of dairy products. Is,
they're one of kind of like exactly. Exactly. ಎಸ್ ಎಸ್ ನೀವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಟ್ರಿಪ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಊಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮೊದಲು ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಈಗ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ನೋ ದೆಮ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ 5 minutes ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ 5 minutes ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದಲ್ವ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಟ್ ಅವಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡಿಸೋಕ್ಕೂ ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡಿಸೋಕ್ಕೂ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಓಕೆ ನೀವು ಯು ನೋ ದೆಮ್ ಈಗ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆನ್ ಯುವರ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅನ್ಸೋದೇ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಫ್ ಯು ವೆಂಟ್ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಹಿಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ Kuraga, say something about Kuragas. Kuraga.
They are from the Communal regions.
Okay.
And drum beating.
They are the drum beating tribes in temple, outside temple. Basket makers. Their livelihood.
Mostly they spend 50% of their economy in alcohol, BD, and all other.
Yes, they spend for those their good behaviors, right? Habits. Chandalas. Okay. Okay, what is Chandala?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಹುಡುಗ ಶೂದ್ರ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದವರ ಚಾಂಡಲ.
Okay, okay.
ಅದು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಶೂದ್ರ ಹುಡುಗ.
Okay.
ಅದು
Okay, okay. Say something about Kuraga. I don't want to do it now.
basket ಎಲ್ಲ.
Okay, basket that is their livelihood.
ಅಷ್ಟಾಲು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ ಜಲ್ಲು ಅಂತ
Okay. Ban mat. What is that practice? ಕಂಬಳ ಕೋಣ ಓಡಿಸೋದು ಕುರಗಾಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ವಾಟ್ right in the beginning later they are the runners next
and ಅವರು usually fresh ಆಗಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಂದಿರೋ ಮೀಟ್ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ
already dead meat like cows ಸತ್ತೋಯ್ತು buffalo ಸತ್ತೋಯ್ತು ಊರಲ್ಲಿ and ಅವರ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆಯೋದು ಅವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ because they are drum beaters drum ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು through buffalo skin cow skin so ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ರು if some cows cattle died means the first they will give information to this kuragas ಬಂದು ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ sometimes they will eat the meat of that dead cattle like this is the thing okay. This is our about kuragas
now almost 14,794 people
14,000 that means around 15,000 kuragas in coastal Karnataka anywhere else they settled outside from coastal Karnataka
like in Shivamogga and few
north like Uttara Kannada and Shivamogga districts some parts of Davangere district right Kasaragod coastal entire Tulnad and coastal Udupi yeah next majorly concentrated in Udupi district of Karnataka next what else I give
G20
how many countries 19 countries that's it 19 countries and one the G20 means group of 20 countries but that is not actually true because 19 countries are European Union countries not just one country that is more than 100 I know 2 digits it's in 2 digits 23 or 24 countries is there in European Union so 19 countries plus European Union combinedly G20 group of 20 G7 how many countries are there 7 G8 8 okay next
sir for BRICS new members were added
yes sometimes new members sometimes ಇರೋರ್ಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ that is I'll in international relation first ಇಂದ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರು ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ international relation we're discussing BRICS and Shanghai cooperation BRICS cooperation and this one Indian Ocean island countries that is another one ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ next ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ okay in our last class we started with which topic mention all the tribes from Orans to the last one Munda Charles Coles Coles say something about Chinchus Don't look at your notes. Chinchus of Nallamalai Hills. Say something about them. Tendu leaf. By discussing Chinchus, I discussed Tendu leaf. Tendu leaf, BDLA. They are the Tendu leaf was their main livelihood. And forest loss, that become something threat from the Britishers. And because of that, they revolted against. And who took the leadership? K. Hanumantu. He was hanged. And this is during non-cooperation movement. And what is another thing during 1857? Which tribal revolt? Savaras. Okay. This one Munda. Say something about Munda. Or you can say this is a religious clash. The Munda uprising is a religious clash between tribes as well as tribes in one side and British on the other side. If this is a statement in your PC, is this true? Yes, because Birsa Munda, that what is that? Singabonga cult of Birsa Munda, right? And what is the name for that? Like today we are celebrated Munda's birthday as. Okay. What is the Singabonga concept? Their god, their cult, right? Next what we discussing? Tell me how it differs or what is the nature and character? Highly localized. The first one highly localized. Then highly localized, reactionary. There is no ideology behind. There is no idea. There is no pre-plan. Nothing. This is just a reaction against the local problems. Opposite to changes. Next. Armed rebellion.
We can't call it anti-British.
Anti-colonial. Can't call it anti-colonial.
It's like
Why?
Money lenders.
Okay. This is against Indians also, like money lenders. This is against one who exploit them. Next.
They don't know the concept of nation.
Like sometimes the leaders of these tribal revolts, of these tribal uprisings also came from the tribal community. That means they don't know what is nation, being a leader, and you can't expect the members to know this. Sometimes it is came from outsiders, and most of the times the outsiders used them for their political purposes. And there are some exceptions like Kalluri Sita Maharaja and K. Hanumantu and all. They did wonderful role and they lost their lives because of this.
revolutionary.
Okay, revolutionary. Not all. Okay, next. Okay. We can't conclude that as a national movement. Next. That is what? Zamindari revolt. See, why Zamindar revolted against the Britishers? Zamindar are their close friends, right? Only that was the reason?
10th by 11th.
10 by 11. See, from the beginning, before Britishers, who are the masters for these reasons? Landlords, and that means Zamindar, they themselves masters, and they are not answerable to somebody which is above them. And after Britishers' entry, what happened? They are answerable to the Britishers. They become answerable to the Britishers. So nobody wants this, right? Now, yaradar under barbekante yaru ankodalla. So when Britishers enter, they automatically become subordinates of the Zamindars. They automatically become subordinates of the Britishers, or they automatically become face of the Britishers, right? The reaps of the fruits was eaten by these Britishers, and the threats from extracting the revenue was the responsibility over the Zamindars. The threats, or you can say, the responsibility of the extraction of the revenue was there. This responsibility was there on the Zamindars, but fruits was eaten by Britishers. Before that was not the case. This is the first problem. Next. Sometimes Zamindars, they didn't listen to these Britishers. At that time, the Britishers, they themselves attacked over those Zamindars. Right? I'm going to discuss this in today's class. And sunset class. What is the sunset class? If because of any famine, because of the drought, because of the flood, if some Zamindars was not able to pay his peshkush, what is peshkush?
10 by 11.
That was the amount which he agreed on the day of auctioning. If he was not able to pay that peshkush, he lost his zamindari. He is going to lose. This is the thing. Next. Why? They revolted against the Britishers. What is this 10/11? This is too high. 1/11 is too small. A lot of responsibility over their head. But the commission was too less. This is another reason. And before Britishers' entry, there was no concept of right to equality. There is no concept of social, there is no concept of right to equality. When Britishers enter, the zamindar as well as the peasants, they are equal in the eye of the Britishers. There is no caste discrimination. If zamindars started to practice this untouchability, these Britishers they will not listen that. But for these zamindars, he needed that because he was from the upper caste. Most of the times in general, the zamindars from the upper caste, and he wanted the same thing to maintain. What is the same thing? Traditionally which they followed in this country. What is the thing? The caste discrimination, the social abuse, the untouchability, any kind of discrimination, right? And before he was the judicial as well as administrative head of that entire region. Now the Britishers. If somebody, something happened in between two families, means zamindar is the whole and soul judgment giver, whole and soul judge of that entire place. Today we have a court, we have a police station, we have something else for dispute resolution. Before this zamindar was the main person, he was the center of everything. Today he lost that place. That was the reason behind this zamindar revolt. Before Britishers, zamindar was everything. Some festival is happening in my district. It means if consider me as zamindar, I am the whole and soul head of the district. Today the Governor General, the DC, right, the police officials, they are the guests for that. They are the chief guests for that programs. Before zamindar, he himself was the chief guest. Like these kind of things, which made them to revolt against Britishers. In initial note, they are not in a position to revolt, so they started to listen these Britishers. When these Britishers' exploitation reached to the peak, they united together and they started to revolt against Britishers. So these are the reasons. If at all they ask for 10 marks, what is the reason for the zamindar revolt or zamindar uprising, you must quote these points. Okay, hope you understood. Write it in your own words. Not only the tribes, even zamindars, they did not want their policy of interference in the social things. Before all social evils which was existed in society, that was in the benefit of these zamindars. It may be untouchability, it may be a banning temple entry of the lower caste. These are all benefiting these zamindars because they are naturally from the upper caste. When they started to follow ban on sati, ban on untouchability, or ban on something, banning the temple entry, or they started to allow everybody to temple, these kind of steps which made them to feel something which is not agreed, something which is not acceptable for these zamindars, right? And even the expansionist behavior of the Britishers, because before they are the whole and sole owners of that entire districts, entire the region, entire habitat. Today, before the zamindars house is here means the periphery of his house, the forest, the nearby forest, everything was owned by this zamindar. He himself, he used to declare the entire forest is my forest. But after this forest loss and all, this zamindar he himself became a farmer for his own habitat forest, right? And he was not just the peasants, he himself was barred from collecting the minor forest producers. right? Because law is law for everybody. That is also hurted him. These are the general points. After this, I am going to discuss individually. There are some important zamindars. They revolted against Britishers, and that was quoted in some of these books. Let us discuss this one by one. Zamindars of different regions. Right? Or everybody? Or take reading like important zamindari revolts. Important zamindari revolts. First one, Raja of Vijayanagaram. This is not Vijayanagara Empire. This is the Vijayanagaram was a place in Andhra Pradesh. He was the zamindar. Raja of Vijayanagaram was the richest zamindar of Andhra Pradesh region. The zamindar of Andhra Pradesh region, richest zamindar in modern India. He refused to pay peshkush. He refused to pay peshkush. What is peshkush? The amount which he agreed on the day of auction. That is peshkush. He refused to pay. Alright. So zamindari of that Vijayanagaram was taken away by the Britishers. The Raja became angry and he revolted against the Britishers and got killed by the Britishers. The Raja of Vijayanagaram killed. On 1794. This is very important and it is noted in every history book in the name of the Battle of Padmanabham. The Battle of Padmanabham. So, in the Battle of Padmanabham, he lost his life on 1794. Next, Raja of Vishakhapatnam. Raja of Vishakhapatnam. His name Raja Bir Bahadur. Raja Bir Bahadur. He revolted in 1818. Raja Bir Bahadur. Bir Bahadur. He revolted in 1818 because he lost his zamindari. Next, V. Narasimha Reddy. A zamindar from Andhra region. There are two districts in Andhra, Koilakunta and Kurnool. Today, Kurnool. He was the zamindar of that Kurnool and Koilakunta district. He revolted on 1846 against British revenue policy. He revolted on 1846 against British revenue policy. 1846. Against British revenue policy, and he was hanged. He was hanged by the British. Another person named Veerapandya Kottabomman, Zamindar. Veerapandya Kottabomman. He was a Zamindar of Panchalakuruchi region. Panchalakuruchi is a region in today's Tamil Nadu. Panchalakuruchi. Veerapandya Kottabomman was the Zamindar of Panchalakuruchi of today's Tamil Nadu. He revolted against the Britishers for their exploitative revenue policy and he was killed in 1797. Years are not important, just try to remember the names. At the end of the day, that should not happen. Veluthambi. I discussed about Veluthambi, I guess. By discussing Kerala, what is that? Travancore. By discussing Travancore, not West Bengal. Veluthambi, a Diwan of Travancore king. He himself was a Zamindar, right? Veluthambi, a Diwan of Travancore king. He revolted against the Britishers' exploitative revenue policy and got killed. And after this, before the Travancore was the friendly state of the Britishers, after this Veluthambi's incident, Travancore became a rival state for the Britishers and Travancore got acquired by the Britishers. They occupied Travancore. So by this, the ring fencing was completed. It was started as a focus of Tipu, that means Mysore, as a focus of Mysore, that was ended at Travancore. Right? Ring fencing policy means who started ring fencing policy? One Hastings. So what is that ring fencing policy? Not only acquiring the focused area, but the first one was the focused area, but initially acquiring the fence itself. Right? So the last one, Veluthambi, that means Travancore. So the ring fencing policy got completed after acquiring Raja of Travancore, after acquiring the Travancore region. Right? Next, Karnataka Kittur. This is famous as Kittur uprising of 1824. If you look at Suryanatha Kamath, historian of Karnataka, if you look at his book, he noted this as a Kittur uprising of 1824. Okay. Kittur uprising of 1824. Rani Chennamma adopted. You know Rani Chennamma? Rani Chennamma adopted Shivalinga Rudra because she don't have any legitimate son. So she adopted Shivalinga Rudra, and these Britishers nullified her adoption. And they tried to capture Kittur in the name of Doctrine of Lapse. What is Doctrine of Lapse? And who started? Governor General Dalhousie started Doctrine of Lapse, right? So in the name of Doctrine of Lapse, they started to acquire Kittur. Rani Chennamma didn't sit quiet. She revolted against the Britishers, and the army was commanded by Rayana. Both were imprisoned in Bailahongala jail. Rayana got hanged. This is noted as uprising, Kittur uprising of 1800. So you can't call it as a Kittur empire or Kittur dynasty because that was a small place. So you can quote Kittur under Zamindar. Okay. That is a small place in Bengali District today. So in Zamindari, while discussing Zamindar uprising, you can add that Kittur uprising here. Right? Next. Sambalpur uprising of 1847. This is a Bengal region. Sambalpur uprising in Bengal province. Sambalpur uprising. Bengal province. The Zamindar of Sambalpur, Maharaja Sai, died. Zamindar of Sambalpur, Maharaja Sai. Maharaja Sai, he died. And after the death of this Raja, Britishers interfered in Sambalpur politics and declared his daughter Mohan Kumari as the queen of Sambalpur. Mohan Kumari. She was the legitimate daughter of that person. She was the legitimate daughter of Maharaja Sai. The legitimate word is very important here because I will tell you. Mohan Kumari was the legitimate daughter of this Maharaja Sai, and English they entered the internal politics of the Sambalpur and they declared her as a queen of the Sambalpur. But Surendra Sai, a illegitimate son of this Maharaja Sai, Surendra Sai, he was an illegitimate son of this Surendra Sai. He revolted against this decision of the English. So what is this legitimate and illegitimate? The son which was got birth through marriage, legal marriages are called legitimates, and son who got birth because of the illegal affairs, they are called illegitimate son. So Mohan Kumari, she was the legal daughter of this Maharaja Sai. So Britishers made her as a queen after the death of her father, but the illegitimate son Surendra Sai, he revolted against Britishers. So what is the conclusion? He was captured and killed by the Britishers. Initially, he was sent as a political prisoner and he died. This is noted in so many history books as 1847's Sambalpur uprising of Bengal presidency. This was happened in Bengal presidency. Very, very important in prelims. These are all the next level questions, next generation questions. Saying Bharatandre, they will give different uprisings and they will ask which one is Bengal presidency uprising. Right? Sambalpur is a Bengal presidency. Next. You can take now, I am going to discuss 3-4 uprising, Zamindar uprising in Bombay region. So you can take it in like Bombay presidency. Satavamdi rebellion. Satavamdi rebellion of 1839. Satavamdi rebellion of 1839. Khan Satwant, the ruler of Satavamdi. Khan Satwant. Khan Satwant, the ruler of Satavamdi. So they are all, converted as Muslims. So Khan Satwant was the ruler, and he was removed by the Britishers. in the support of his brother Pond Satwant, he revolted. Pond Satwant. Both Khan Satwant and Pond Satwant revolted against the Britishers because he was removed. Khan Satwant was removed by the Britishers. Khan Satwant was removed by the Britishers from his throne, and with the support of Pond Satwant, he revolted against the Britishers in 1839. Khan Satwant was the ruler, and he got removed by the Britishers. With the support of his brother, he revolted against the Britishers. That itself is a Satwamdi rebellion. Next, Satara rebellion. That is as usual, suppressed by the Britishers. The revolt matra important. Result, you are not needed to discuss, because that is not something which is not happened, because they ruled till 1947. British ಎದುರಾಕಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸೋಲಿಸಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ ಬದುಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So every results of this zamindar rebellion was these zamindars they lost, right? It's like our Naxalites attacks. Naxalites ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 500 years ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ನಕ್ಸಲೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ದೇ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಜನ್, ದಿಸ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫೈನಲಿ ಸಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟುಡೇ ಟುಮಾರೋ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸಪ್ರೆಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಸತಾರಾ ರೆಬೆಲಿಯನ್. You know this Satara rebellion. After Third Anglo-Maratha War, what happened? Beautiful.
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರನ್ನ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅವರು ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
That is what I want.
ಪ್ರತಾಪ್ ಸಿಂಗ್.
Yes, British created an independent state called, small state called Satara, and a distant relative of Shivaji, a gene of Shivaji, was made as a ruler of that region, and after some time he was removed from the throne because of maladministration and all. So after that he revolted against the Britishers. Satara. After Third Anglo-Maratha War, English created a small state called Satara. Pratap Singh, a distant relative of Shivaji, was made as the king of Satara. In 1848, Governor General Dalhousie occupied Satara. He himself, Pratap, because for this Pratap, there were no legitimate sons. So he adopted some other fellow. But these fellows, Britishers, they are not in a position to accept that fellow as a next ruler, because they already have their own doctrine of lapse concept. So Satara is the one of the state which comes under the doctrine of lapse, right? And that is the first state. While discussing Satara, I told you lot many times while discussing Maratha, that was the first time where Dalhousie executed his policy. Are you getting my point? ಅವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ ನೆನಪಾಯ್ತಾ? So this Pratap Singh, he organized army and revolted against Britishers, and he lost. Right? Enough. This is the end of the Zamindari revolt. That means there are, if you look at that, hundreds of revolts, but these are the revolts which is mentioned in most of the history books. So this is important for your case, right? ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರಿ ರಿವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಬರೀರಿ ಅಂತಲೂ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನೋ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಈ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜನ್ನ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಲೈಕ್ ಒಂದು 3-4 ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್, ಹೇಗಾದ್ರೂ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿ, ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ 3-4 ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಲೈಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ 3-4 ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ, ವೈ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರ್ ರಿವೋಲ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ರೈಟ್? ನೀವೇ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, ಅಂಡ್ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಇದೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅದೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. ಈ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಫಿನಿಶ್, 10 ಮಾರ್ಕರ್. If at all that's this for 10 marker. Zamindar revolt, why revolted against Britishers? Why Zamindar uprised against Britishers ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರೆ, right? Take getting civil rebellion. Civil rebellion. What is civil? Why or with whom they revolted?
ಪ್ರಜೆಗಳೇ ಅವರ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರನ್ನೇ
Not just against Britishers. Sometimes the face of the Britishers. They revolted in the face of the Britishers. See, sometimes these civil rebellions took into different colors. So in Kerala, it took color of communal. When a coolie Muslims, they went against upper caste Hindus for extracting high revenue. The coolie agriculturists, they revolted against the Moplas, they are called Moplas. They revolted against the Hindu landlords. That looks like a Hindu-Muslim revolt, but that is not the case. This is also part of the civil rebellion. So when the civils, they unite together, they went against the Britishers and their phases. Who are all the phases? The forest officials, the police, the zamindars, the landlords, the money lenders, whatever. So that is civil rebellions. You know, by discussing, I discussed Sannyasi rebellion, I guess. ಯಾವಾಗ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ? ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್, ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೋರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ roaming in a naked mode. Because of that, they united together. Right, while discussing Bhakti Moment, I guess, while discussing Shankaracharya and I guess, ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನ? When Allah,
ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಮರಾಠಿ
like this, sannyasis, they are the Giri order sector, and that Giri order sector was started by Shankaracharya. But ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯದಲ್ಲ, ಬೆಂಗಾಲ್ ಫೆಮೈನ್ ಏನೋ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. Like, because of the Bengal famine, along with that, sannyasis, they revolted, they united together, they become a threat for the Britishers. Something I ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು ನೆನಪಿದೆ. Take first that as a heading, Sannyasi rebellion. Let us discuss again, don't worry. 1772. Sannyasi rebellion, 1772. Sannyasi. Monk. The sannyasis are the Giri order sect. This sect was founded by Adi Shankaracharya. That means this is a sect of Advaita philosophy or Dvaita philosophy.
ಅದ್ವೈತ.
Yes, this may be a Williams question. Giri order sect was which philosophy? Advaita. They revolted in 1772. When Britishers banned sannyasis going around the place in a naked form, they revolted in the Britishers when Britishers banned sannyasis roaming around their villages in a naked form. For sannyasis, that is their culture. In that subsect, that is their tradition. And this banning is illegal or unwanted interference in their culture. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Moreover, in 1770, see why this sannyasis rebellion become important, because these sannyasis, they are not powerful. They get support from the common public, the peasants, the other communities. Why they got support? Because on 1770, the Bengal region experienced famine. And in that time also, in the name of zamindari, they extracted more number of revenue, even during the Bengal famine. So the already God exploited the common public, already the suffered common public, they waiting for a time to revolt against the Britishers, and sannyasis, they took the leadership, and all the peasants and all the communities, they joined behind the sannyasis. So this is all circumstances matched when sannyasis started the revolt. Hope everybody wrote the story. Otherwise, these sannyasis, small Giri order sect sannyasis, they are not powerful. Why they become powerful? Because of the communal support. The community, they started support. Why community supported? Because before that, the Bengal experienced famine, and even in the time of the famine also, Britishers did not stop them from collecting the revenue. They collected as like a normal. So that caused great unrest in the rural society. So those unrest population also join hand with these sannyasis. So this sannyasi rebellion become important, become huge. Now what the further Bengal freedom fighter Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, he glorified sannyasi rebellion in his books, right? Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, he glorified sannyasi rebellion. What is the famous book of Bankim Chandra Chatterjee? Anybody? Anandamath. We're discussing again further, I will come to this. Anandamath. In that text of Anandamath, he glorified, this is the first major civil rebellion in the modern Indian history. He glorified sannyasi rebellion as a first major civil rebellion in the modern Indian history. Who glorified? Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. In which text? Anandamath. So this is all about first major civil rebellion in modern Indian history. So this is over. Next, Farazi movement. Farazi. This is also Bengal region. There is a district called Sherpur. In Sherpur district of Bengal, in Sherpur district of Bengal, the civilians united together under the leadership of Karam Shah and Tipu. Karam Shah and Tipu, single P. Karam Shah and Tipu. They revolted against the Britishers. Wait. This is not Sherpur district. This is Faridpur district. F-A-I-D. Faridpur. Sorry, Faridpur. F-A-R-I-D. Faridpur district of Bengal. They exploited, just scratch that and start. Just scratch everything and start. Full. Farid. Take heading like Farazi movement. Because this is something different. Okay. The Faridpur district of Bengal, the civilians united together against the Britishers because the Britishers started to implement zamindari system very strictly. So these zamindars, when who are agreed to pay peshtush, they started to exploit these started to exploit these peasants. Okay. In Faridpur district of Bengal, the civilians united together against the Britishers because these Britishers, they started to strictly implement zamindari in the Bengal region. So the zamindars were agreed to pay peshkush. They started to exploit the peasant. They started to exploit the peasants. So at that time, these zamindars, most of them are from the Hindu upper caste. Hindu upper caste. Most of the times, these zamindars are from Hindu upper caste. And the peasants are generally Muslims. Majority of the peasants are Muslims. So initially it looks like the rebellion against the English, but in a later note, when two Muslims, Shariatullah and Muhammad Mohsin,
Initially look like
civil rebellion against Britishers, civil rebellion against the Britishers. In later, when two Muslims took the leadership, called Shariatullah and Muhammad Mohsin, when these two Muslims they took the leadership against the Hindu landlords, this turns into communal clash. This turns into communal clash. Right? This is the Farazi moment. So Farazi moment is a part of civil rebellion, but it looks like a Muhammad Mohsin communal. Right? At the end of the day, you are not going to remember these names. Don't worry. Initially, it looks like a civilian. Finally, Farazi moment looks like a communal because Hindu landlords and majority of the peasants are the Muslims. When you enter your exam. Right? Next, that story is Pagalpanthi movement. Initially we started now. Take that as writing. Pagalpanthi movement. Pagalpanthi. Yes. Pagalpanthi. I just confused you. Pagalpanthi. Yes. This was started in Sherpur district of Bengal. Pagalpanthi. Karam Shah and Tipu as the leaders. Here, not at the end. Immediately when revolt started, it looks like a Hindu Muslim because they revolted against the Hindu landlords. There in Farazi, initially it looks like civilian, right? Civilian rebellion against the Britishers. But here when Karam Shah and Tipu took the leadership at the initial note, so in initial when revolt started, it looks like a communal. Why? What is the reason behind this revolt? Because discriminated taxation, excessive taxation by the Hindu zamindars. What is discriminated taxation? Why it looks like a communal? Because of these Hindu zamindars. These Hindu zamindars, they started to collect taxes discriminately. Discriminately means for Hindus, Hindu peasants less tax. Same amount of the land for Muslim peasants, huge tax. So discrimination in collecting the taxes. So the Muslim peasants they united together and leadership also came from the Muslim community. So in initial note only Pagalpanthi movement looks like a communal. But Farazi at the final it painted as a communal. But here there is nothing going to paint because it itself is a communal. Because Zamindar he himself did communal act. What is the communal act? Zamindar did discrimination, taxation, exploitative taxation of the Muslims. Right? So prelims ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಇದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಹಾಬಿ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ವಹಾಬ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ? ವಹಾಬಿ W. It was founded by Abdul Wahab. Started because you can write founded because this is founded in Saudi Arabia. Abdul Wahab was not Indian, right? Because this seed, or you can say this seed was sowed by Abdul Wahab, or this ideology was founded by, or this concept was founded by Abdul Wahab in Saudi Arabia. It introduced into India by Syed Ahmad in a district called Bareilly, UP. Syed Ahmad. Wahhabi movement started in Saudi Arabia, introduced into India through Syed Ahmad. So where it was introduced?
Saudi Arabia.
Where it was introduced in India? Bareilly district of Uttar Pradesh. So what is the thing in Wahhabi? See, Wahhabis is one kind of orthodox sect within Islam, and they wanted to rule world, and their motive is to rule India. The thing behind Sayyid Ahmad when he entered this concept into India, the pre-plan, the back of the idea was to, what is the purpose? To rule India. To rule India means what? Who should rule India? Muslims should rule India. That was the concept. Again, like medieval Indian history. That was the concept. So they started this in even Sikh majority region. So Sikh domination in Western India got down because of this movement. Sikh domination of Western India got down Punjab region. Sikh domination in Punjab region got down because of this movement. But initially, when these Wahhabis entered India, they did not reveal their ideology of ruling India. Muslims should rule India. Because to rule India, already there are rulers called Britishers. So how to exit out these Britishers from India? First, you must join hands with the Hindus against the Britishers. And there is a modus of operandi how to rule India. And their modus of operandi, the initial thing is they must unite together with the Hindus against the Britishers, and they started that. Hope you are getting. No? See, Wahhabi movement, the main motive which started in Saudi Arabia was to rule the world. The one of the branch from Sayyid Ahmad, he visited India and he took the same ideology into India. So how to rule India? Bantu. ಆಯಿತು, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ದುಂಡು ಮೇಜಿನ ಸಭೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವೇ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಆಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಹೇಗೆ ಆಡೋದು? ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಸ್ ಆಪರೆಂಡಿ. ಹೇಗೆ? ಓಕೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಈ ರೂಮಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಥರ್ಡ್, ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋಣ. ಫೋರ್ತ್, ಹಿಂದೂ ಜೊತೆ ಕೈ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಸಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ opposition here for these Muslims? British, because Hindus is not ruling India. When this ideology entered India, the rulers of India was not Hindus, Britishers. So we must join our hands with the another losers. Who are another losers? Hindus at that time. So these Hindus and Muslims, they united together against the Christians. Under this, in initial, Britishers are the Christians, right? So initially in prelims, see, in prelims, look at this question. This is my question. Wahhabis preached Hindu-Muslim unity. Yes. This looks like wrong. Then answer yes. Wahhabis preached Hindu-Muslim unity in modern Indian history. Yes. But what is the purpose of the Wahhabis? Muslims should rule world. Muslims should rule world. This is the Wahhabis principle, right? In 1857 revolt, these Wahhabis, they played a commendable role. In 1857 revolt, these Wahhabis, they played a commendable role in going around the places and preaching Hindu-Muslim unity against the Britishers. Going around the places, iಡಿ ದೇಶ ತಿರುಗಿ and preaching Hindu-Muslim unity against Britishers. However, with the failure of this revolt, the movement also ended. Right? However, 1857 revolt, when Britishers successfully suppressed it, right? So, when they successfully suppressed it means this Wahhabi movement also suppressed it, ended. Okay. Next, let us discuss something about Karnataka. Namdari rebellion. You know Namdaris? Namdaris like Okkaliga. In some parts of Karnataka, the Okkaligas are called Namdaris. Okay. So this is Namdari. movement. You know what Nokkaliga concept? They are the Okkalu. That means they are the cultivators. So they are the peasants. They revolted against the exploitative zamindars in Mysore state.
Reasons?
They are the, just understand my words and write it in your own words. Just understand, don't write in initial, you especially. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀರಿ. ವರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಇದೆ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಓದಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ವರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕಂತ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಐಡಿಯಾ? ಏನೋ ಒಕ್ಕಲಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಇದ್ರು, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಒಡುವವರಾಗಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಇವರು ಅವ್ರ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ರಿವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಬರೀರಿ. ರೈಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕುಕಿ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಸರಿ, ಕೂಕಾ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬರೀರಿ. ಮೈಸೂರು ನಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್. ಇನ್ ಮೈಸೂರು. ನಿಮ್ನ ಯಾರು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀರಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಮೈಸೂರು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮೈಸೂರು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನೋ ವೈ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ? ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಹಂಡ್ರೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಯರೀಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್, ಹಂಡ್ರೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಯರೀಸ್. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫೋಟೋ ಹಾಕಿದೆ, ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ವೈ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂತು, ಹೌ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ, ಒನ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಫುಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಪೆನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್, ಹಂಡ್ರೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, KPSC ಕಲ್ಪ ಬರ್ತೇವೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. AC ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, DYSP ಗಾನ ಅವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ UPSC. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಓದಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಲಿ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಐ ಡೂ ದಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಆರ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್. Definitely I'm going to do. You subscribe as Darshan and all. Yes. Then enough. ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ I'll do and you must listen the class. ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನನ್ನ ಪಾಠ. 1 hour ಹೇಗೂ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಸಿಗತ್ತಾನೆ. I'll do. ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಇಷ್ಟು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಪಾಠ. ಓಕೆ, ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ? ಓವರ್ ರೈಟ್. ಕೂಕಾ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. Kuka, that is Kuki. This is Kuka. It was founded by Bhagat Jawhar. Founded antane baridi. It was founded by Bhagat Jawhar Mal. Jawhar, J-A-U. Jawhar Mal. Bhagat Jawhar Mal. Kuka. ಭಗತ್ ಜವಹರ್ ಮಾಲ್. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ? ಕಾಣಿಸಲ್ಲ, ಗೊತ್ತು ನಂಗೆ. ಭಗತ್ ಜವಹರ್ ಮಾಲ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿದ ಬಿಡಿ. ಭಗತ್ ಜವಹರ್ ಮಾಲ್ ಏನಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ರೀಜನ್. It was actually started as a reformist movement. It was actually started as a reformist movement against their own religion called Sikh, or against reformist movements within Sikhism, right, like that. It was actually started as a reform movement within Sikhism. However, under leadership of Ram Singh, it was transferred as Kuka movement. Initially, it is just a reform movements within the religion. Later, when the leadership comes in the hands of the Ram Singh, he transferred this as a Kuka movement. Because these Kukas are treated, Kuka is a community. These Kukas are treated only Guru Govind is the real Sikh Guru. Kukas treated only Guru Govind as the real Sikh Guru, and further Punjab belongs to Sikhs. And further Punjab belongs to Sikhs only. Sikhs only. Not SIX. Sikh religion. Okay. In 1870, Koka revolt started. 70. Koka revolt started under Ram Singh. They declared the formation of the Koka government. They declared, see, these Kokas, they are the Sikhs. And for them, Guru Govind, they are Sikh, that is the supreme. They are not in a position to give respect to these Britishers. When Britishers said, we are the government, they didn't listen. You are not a government. Our Sikh, we are the Sikhs, and we are going to form a government called Koka government. So when this is their ideology, Britishers started to talk in a harsh mode, and they also started to talk in a harsh noise. So finally, the entire differences went high, and Koka rebellion. It took, it turns into Koka rebellion. Initially, it is a social reform movement or civil reform movement. Later, under the leadership of the Ram Singh, they went into the extent of creating the Koka government against Britishers, because they told, that is their ideology. What is their ideology? Punjab belongs to Sikhs and will not listen anybody else. Right? So Koka government, they started to found Koka government, and Britishers disagreed for this. So Koka rebellion started. Right? And Britishers definitely suppressed the revolt and arrested this Ram Singh. So when leader arrested means ended. So with this civil rebellion also ended. In our discussion, there are hundreds of civil rebellions. In our discussion, civil rebellion was ended. Huh? What? Civil, just think about it. Civil rebellion ended. Yes, what is your doubt? ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ನಾನು ಓಡಾಡಿಸಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ಸುಮನ? ಅಗೇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಂಟರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸೈಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್? ರೈಟ್. So mention civil rebellions. Anybody? Like Pagalpanthi movement, explain from here. Individual, one individual from here. You must explain Pagalpanthi movement. ಸಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಂತೀನಲ್ವಾ, ಅವಾಗ ನಂಗೆ ಮೈನೋಟ್ ಬೇಡ, ನನಗೆ ಕೋರ್ ಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅದಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಕೇರ್, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಈ ಥರ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ, ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಇನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲಿಂದರಲ್ಲಿ because the rulers are the Hindus and governing bodies means one who are ruled by, they are the Muslims. Again Mopla's revolt ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ ಕೇರಳ ಅದು ಇದೇ ತರ. Mopla's are the agri laborers, they are from Muslim community, right? Take it in peace and movements.
Civilian movement, civilian rebellion, all are one and the same.
Moment, rebellion, revolt, fight, quarrel, difference, clash, right? Whatever the way you want.
Is there a difference? Like,
No. Yes, there is a difference. Otherwise, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹೆಸರು ಇರ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದು ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರೋರು ಅದನ್ನು ಓದ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಸ್, ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇರೋರು ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ದು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ನಾನು UPSC ಅಲ್ಲಿ UPSC ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಂ, ನೋಡಿ
you are serious at English literature.
ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲಿಟ್ರೇಚರ್. ಈಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೋಷಿಯಾಲಜಿ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್, ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ.
Pass ಆದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತದೆ, ಆ subject ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
ಲೈಕ್ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಇದನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? IAS or IPS? KS ಪ್ರಮೋಟೆಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ IAS ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋದು ನೀವು ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ. ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಇದೆ AS ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ. KS ಪ್ರಮೋಟೆಡ್ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರು AS ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ವ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ KS ಪಾಸ್ ಆದರೆ ಅವರೊಂದು 40 ಬರ್ತಾ AS ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ವ. ನೀವು KS ಪ್ರಮೋಟೆಡ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರತ್ತೆ KS ಆಫೀಸರ್ಗೆ. ಪ್ರಮೋಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು KS ಆಗಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಈಗ IAS ಬೇಡವೇ ಬೇಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಮೋಟೆಡ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರು, ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಮೋಟೆಡ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ KPC ಬೇಡ, KPC ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನಮ್ಮದು ಫೈನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಮುಗಿದಾಗ ಝುವಾಲಜಿ HOD ಇದ್ರು ನಾನು, ವಿನೋದಿನಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಅವರು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಲೈಫ್ ಲೆಸನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳೋಗಿದ್ರು. ಅದನ್ನ ತುಂಬ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನ ನಾನು, ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಫೀಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗಿಂತ ಟಾಪ್ ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ನಿಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ಟಾಪ್. ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಎನಿ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್. ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಟಾಪ್ ಯಾವುದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, IAS ಟಾಪ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, AS ಆಗಬೇಕು. UPSC ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒನ್ ಡೇ, ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್, ಒನ್ ಡೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ನಿನ್ ಬಿಡಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಮುಗಿದೋಗಿದೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಫೀಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ನೀವು ಡೇ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೈಟ್ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ಇದೇ ಥರ ಫುಡ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್, ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಷಿನರೀಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ನಾ ಈ ಮಷಿನರೀಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ತರಿಸೋದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ SS ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ತಗೋಬೋದು ನಾನು, ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕು. ಹಾಂ, ರೈಟ್, ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾನು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲೋ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವ್ರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲೋ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ವುಮೆನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದು ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಸೆಂಟಿವ್ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು, ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ಅದು ಇನ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಇದೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್. ನಿಮ್ದು ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಯಾವುದೇ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್. ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 5 ಸ್ಟಾರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್. 5 ಸ್ಟಾರ್ 7 ಸ್ಟಾರ್, ರೈಟ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮದು ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಓಷನ್ ಪರ್ಲ್ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಿಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಓಷನ್ ಪರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಂಬಿಯನ್ಸ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಆಂಬಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಜ್ಯುವೆಲರೀಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಜಾಯ್ ಲುಕಾಸ್, ಗೋ ಟು ಎನಿ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಸೌದಿ ಅರೇಬಿಯಾ ಜಾಯ್ ಲುಕಾಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ತನಿಷ್ಕಾ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ, ಅದಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಭರಣ್, ರೈಟ್. ಹಾಗೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗೆ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದು ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಲೈಫನ್ನು ಕಲಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ 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 ನೀವು ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ PhD ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರ, PhD ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಬೇರೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೇಳೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಫುಲ್ 100% ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಯಾರು ಇರಬಾರ್ದು ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಸೀನಯ್ಯ ಸರ್, ಮೈ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಟೀಚರ್, he was a lecturer. Then he became a UPSC aspirant. He did masters in history. He know everything in history. Whatever you ask, he know. History bit there subject ಬಗ್ಗೆ idea ಇಲ್ಲ. He don't even know the ABCD of other subjects. But history was the India's best teacher. ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. Okay? Because the entire life ಅಲ್ಲಿ history ಓದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Entire life ಅಲ್ಲಿ history ಓದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Like that. Go to any field whichever you want. Be first in that. Right? That is the takeaway. Take it in peace and moment. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು? ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೋ ಬಂತು. Okay, reason for the right peace and moment and reason for the peace and moment. English literature Sumana and peace and moment. What is peace and? Everybody know, right? Tell me what is the reason behind the farmers they started to revolt against the British?
Revenue policies.
Okay, only one.
ಮತ್ತೆ land distribution.
Okay, next.
ಮತ್ತೆ land acquisition.
Okay, next.
ಮತ್ತೆ
See here,
laborers ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ.
while discussing peace and movement, you must concentrate on the peasants, how their exploitation activities, how their laws, Britishers' activities affected especially on the peasants. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಬರೆಯೋದಲ್ಲ, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗಿ 3 revenues, how it affected Indian society ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Like middle class started, ಅದು ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ. Right? See, here you must concentrate on how it affected the peasants. So what is the reason behind peasant revolt?
ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಇಂದ ಅವರು ಬೇರೆ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್
ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಮಾಡೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ.
ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್.
Okay. Next.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೇಬರರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ.
Agri laborers. Right? Instead of cultivating by themselves, they started to go as a coolies for some other fields. Because if they cultivating means they must pay for the government in the name of tax. If they went as a coolies, they will get their labor. Wage.
ಅವರು ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ತಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹಣ ತಗೊಂಡು
Debt trap.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇಗ ಸಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು.
Next. What is the reason behind peasant movement? What is the reason behind peasant movements? See, in zamindari, peasants are not responsible, or there is no connection between the peasants and the Britishers. So, in prelims, more than zamindari, in Raitwari system, peasants movement we witness maximum. This was the statement. Yes. Next, some other points why peasants revolted in the Britishers.
ಅವರು ಖಾಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಬೆಳೆದಲ್ಲದೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಹ ಬೆಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ.
Okay.
ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಿಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ.
Okay. Means they are exploited. To come out from that exploitation, they started to grow more commercial crops instead of the food crops. Next.
ಅವರು ಪೂವರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ.
ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಹೇಳಿ. ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಹೇಳಿ.
ಪಾವರ್ಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಂದ ಏನು ಸಿಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay.
ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಗೆ
Okay.
ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು.
Okay. Like only they are extracting revenues from these peasants, but there is no returns for these peasants.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಫೆಮೈನ್ ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಲಾಮಿಟೀಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸಮೇತ ಅವರು ಪೇ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು.
Whatever may be the circumstances, whatever may be the condition, they must pay in the right way. In zamindari, these zamindars going to lose. Here, the peasant they themselves going to lose their. In the right way, the peasant they themselves going to lose their land. Next. Debt trap. Okay. Take the reason for this peasant movement. Take first point. With the zamindari system of 1793, the peasant become tenants at will. Yes or no?
Yes. System of
93. The peasant becomes tenants at will. And they left at the mercy of the zamindars. When they left at the mercy of the zamindars, they preferred to remain as a coolies instead of cultivators. When they left at the mercy of the zamindars, they started to prefer remain as a coolies instead of cultivating in their land. See, one by one. In Zamindari, this is the thing. In Raituari, next point. Here, the peasants are also responsible for paying revenue, and the revenue itself is too costly. It reached 55% of their production. You know, right? Write it in your own words. I'll give you time, don't worry. That is the highest ever collected in Indian history because they are more worse than these khiljis. Alauddin Khilji, right? He collected 50%. So they are worse than these Delhi Sultanates. How many of you remember the Delhi Sultanates? From top to here. First Delhi Sultanates. Slave dynasty. Also called Mamluk dynasty. Also called Ilbari dynasty. Also called slave. Next. Okay, next. Okay, next. Okay, next. Okay. Continue. Over. Peasants are not only exploited by the zamindars or the Britishers, but when they fall in the debt trap, they are exploited more by these Marwadi moneylenders. You know the history, right? When they fall in the debt trap of paying the taxes, the Marwadi moneylenders, they started to pay for these peasants, and they started to introduce zero in front of their accounts. Like they started to introduce zeros. Hug everybody. These Marwadi moneylenders, they started to add more and more what? Interest rates, and finally they grabbed the peasants' land. So this when they revolted against these Marwadi moneylenders also, looks like a peasant rebellion, anti-English. What is the reason behind taking loan from these Marwadi moneylenders? Because of the Britishers, right? Right. They used to charge very high interest rates. Sometimes ಲೆಕ್ಕನೂ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊನ್ನೆ ಸೇರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. So, in some parts, the two Bengal region, not Bengal, at that time Bengal only, Bihar, today's Bihar, the peasants they started to revolt against the Britishers. Against the Britishers because their highly exploitative system of giving advance to indigo cultivation. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆತಿಯ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆತಿಯ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆತಿಯ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್? ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆತಿಯ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಗೇನ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ 1915 era, 1916, 17 ಎಲ್ಲ initial how Gandhi become hero in the eastern part of India ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಚಂಪಾರಣ್ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Again I will come to that. So Britishers they started to give advance loan, and that advance loan is compulsory. Okay, this is something funny. The loan is compulsory. You must take the loan. And you must pay, you must grow this indigo. Why? This indigo is very much needed for their pigment. What is pigment? Coloring agent for textile industry. So this pigment, this indigo, they are not able to grow in a cold region like Europe and all. This indigo is the crop of equatorial region. Like India is the proper region for this cultivation. So they wanted this for their textile industry, for their pigments. So they started to give advance for these peasants, that too in a Bihar region. So this is a kind of exploitation. Otherwise, what they'll do? They will grow whatever they like, the cotton, the food. So they are forced to grow indigo under Tinkatiya system. So this is another kind of the peasants movement. They united together and they revolted against the Britishers, even in modern history, even during the Gandhian era, right? That itself is Champaran Satyagraha, right? The first Satyagraha of Gandhi. So let us go one by one, important peasant movements. Pike's Rebellion. Pike's Rebellion of 1803. The Pikes of Banapur and Kurda Road of Odisha. The Pikes of Odisha, right? The Pikes of Odisha revolted against the decision of extending Zamindari system. Extending Zamindari system. The revolt was led by Jagat Bandhu. The revolt was led by Jagat Bandhu, as it was the first and the earliest movement. As it was first and earliest movement. So, you can read a section of historians. They quoted this Pike's Rebellion as the first war of India's independence. Section of historians. They quoted this as the first war of India's independence. Indian independence. Normally we call 1857 war. Again there is a debate. Some section again. Today only, time by which I will come to 1857 revolt. Okay. There are difference of different opinion regarding 1857 war. Okay, for them it is just a reactionary reaction of the exploited Muslims, or one who are traditionally exploited by the Hindus. For somebody else, this is just a reactionary. For somebody else, this is a big war. For somebody, this is not even war. Okay. So let us discuss that. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು ಅನಂತರ ಅದನ್ನು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೋಡೋಣ. Next, Ramoses Rebellion of 1818. Ramoses Rebellion. Ramoses. Ramoses are the peasants tribe around Pune. They are the peasant tribes. Okay? Peasant tribes. Because, yes, especially they are the tribes, but they are good at peasant, means good at farming. That's why we are discussing here. You know what? Farming is not comes under any religion. So one more good, they may be a tribe. When they are good at farming, let us include them in here, not there, right? So peasant, they are the growing tribes, or they are the cropping tribes. They are the peasant tribes of the Pune region, in and around Pune. After Third Anglo-Maratha War, this Ramoses was removed by the Britishers from their army, from their military services. So the unemployed Ramoses, they again come back to the field. Initially they are the cultivators. In the meanwhile, they join the Britishers army. Why they join Britishers army? Because in Maratha's army they are the tribes. They are the untouchables. They don't have any space in the Maratha's army. So they join British army. So after Third Anglo-Maratha War, even they removed from them. So because of this, again they back to field. But what is the problem here?
Maharaja.
Yes, at that time the agriculture itself is expensive because of the new revenue policies of the Britishers. That means the agriculture was not like before when they are the huge cultivators. So they could not able to withstand in this costliest agriculture. So they wanted to again rejoin the British army, but Britishers disagreed for that. The Ramosis posted or requested the Britishers to re-employ them in their military services, but they disagreed. So this also revolted the Britishers. The leadership was taken by Chittur Singh and Ummaji. Chittur Singh and Ummaji. The revolt ended when English, see this is successful revolt because the revolt ended when English agreed to reintroduction or reintroducing Ramosis into their military services. So this Ramosis rebellion is successful or failure rebellion? Successful. Arey yaar, what happened to you?
Ramos is a pride.
That is not a single, thousands. Next, Gadkari rebellion. This is not Nitin Gadkari. Maybe we don't. Their own kind. Gadkari rebellion. Right? This is also peasant rebellion. Gadkaris are the peasant group. Gadkaris are the peasant group around Kolhapur region of Maharashtra. Peasant groups of Kolhapur region of Maharashtra. In 1851, they revolted against the exploitative policy of Diwan of Kolhapur. 51. They revolted against the exploitative policy of Diwan of Kolhapur. At that time, D.K. Pandit was the Diwan. D.K. Pandit was the Diwan, and he started to exploit these Gadkaris. These Gadkaris, they are the peasants of Kolhapur region of Maharashtra, and the Diwan of this Kolhapur region, when they started to exploit these Gadkaris, they revolted against this Diwan, and this Diwan was the face of the Britishers. That's why this is a peasant rebellion. This D.K. Pandit was supported by the English when they revolted against this Diwan. When Gadkaris revolted against this person got support from the British. And finally, the Gadkaris. When Gadkaris revolted against this Pandit, and this Pandit got support from English. So English suppressed this Gadkaris. Or you got my point? You know. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ಗೆ? ನಾಳೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ? ನನಗೆ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ನಾನು ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಕೊಡೋದೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ನಂಗೆ ನೆನಪಿರುತ್ತೆ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಅದು. ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಬೇರೆದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ. ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರೋದು ನೆನಪಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಂಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟಿಂದ ನೆನಪಿದೆ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅದು. ಈಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೆನಪಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ದೀಪ್ತಿ ಒಂದು ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗುರು ಒಂದು ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಗುರು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಬೈ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಕೊ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ, ರಾಹುಲ್ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಯಾರು ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ? ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಸರ್? ನಾವು
ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಶ್ರೀವಿದ್ಯಾ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವತ್ತು ತುಂಬಾ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೈದಿದ್ದೆ ಇಡೀ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಶ್ರೀವಿದ್ಯೆಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಅವತ್ತು ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ, ಮಾಡ್ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನನಗೆ ನಾ ಏನೋ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೇನೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂತ. ನಾಳೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ನಾಳೆ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಂಗೆ ಅದು ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟಾಲರೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೈಸ್. ಮುಂದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ of 1842. Bundelkhand region, Madhya Pradesh. Peasants. They revolted against the Britishers, against their British revenue policy. Leadership was taken by Madhukar Shah and Jawahir Singh. Both were killed. Madhukar Shah and Jawahar Singh. Both were killed and Buddhist uprising ended. Singh. Indigo. Next, take Indigo Rebellion. Let us discuss in detail that. That is very important. Indigo Rebellion. This was the most popular peasant movement, which was concentrated by every historians in their books. It was focused by every historians. It was against the exploitative system of advance called Teen Katia. Actually, that is double E, okay, Teen Katia, Teenk, Teen Katia. This is against the exploitative system of advances called Teen Katia. And the main center of the Indigo revolt was, right. Teen Katia, Teenkatia, Teen Katia. Correct? Or the main center of the Indigo revolt was Jessore, Nadia in West Bengal, Darbhanga in Bihar, Jessore and Nadia, Nadia in West Bengal, Jessore and Nadia in West Bengal, and Darbhanga, Drbnj in Bihar. The leaders of the revolts were Vishnu Charan Biswas. It is Vishnu Charan Biswas. In Bengal we call it as the Vishnu Charan Biswas. Vishnu Charan Biswas, B-A-S-W-A-S, Biswas. And Digambaram Biswas. Under their leadership, under their leadership, the peasants unite together and they refuse to take advances and cultivate indigo. Under their leadership, they refuse to take advance and cultivate indigo. See, that is what the problem, right? That is a forceful loan. ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು, ಲೋನ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕು and cultivate ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು indigo. And they refused to take advance under Vishnu Charan Biswas and Digambara Biswas. Right? It was the moment, or you can say it was the first moment attracting the attention of Bengali intellectuals like Dinabandhu Mitra. See, again I'm introducing. These are very important in our future classes.
First moment which attracted
Bengali intellectuals. Dinabandhu Mitra. What is intellectual? The writers, ಬುದ್ಧಿಜೀವಿಗಳು, book ಬರೆಯೋರು, intellectual. ದೀನಬಂಧು ಮಿತ್ರ. He wrote a drama called Neeli Darpana. This is what you face the question. Who wrote drama called Neeli Darpana? Why the name Neeli? Tell me. Indigo? Blue. It's a Neeli. N-E-E. Neeli Darpana. Okay, this is what you face the question. So, in that drama, he expressed the exploitation of the Britishers. He expressed the problems which was faced by the indigo cultivators and everything. Right. That also, that is important. He expressed the exploitation. He expressed the problems of the indigo cultivators. So, the revolt ended with the appointment of first Indigo Inquiry Commission. Now what? This first Indigo Inquiry Commission, this is very important because this is failure commission. During Gandhi's time, the second Indigo Inquiry Commission which was constituted in 1917 or 18. Okay. The first Indigo Commission, the first Indigo Inquiry Commission, first Indigo Inquiry Commission was appointed by the Britishers, which supported the cause of the peace entry. The commission supported the cause of the peace entry. Because of that, English Parliament did not pass it. Okay, because of that, the commission, the result of that commission, it supported the peace entry. So that did not implement it by the British government. Because of that, there is a space for the second commission, and second Indigo Inquiry Commission was constituted during the time of the Mahatma Gandhi. I don't know the exact time, before 1900. That time. So why this is important, this Indigo Revolution or Indigo Revolt, Indigo Rebellion is important because this is not a single year revolt, this is a constant revolt. Because that was started from beginning to till Gandhiji's time. So you can add another point, this is the first Satyagraha. This is the first Satyagraha movement in modern Indian history. What is the first Satyagraha? Champaran Satyagraha by Gandhi. Who is the political master for Gandhi? Guru? Gokhale. Right? See, when Gandhiji entered into Indian politics, for 3 or 4 years, just 2 to 3 years, he was alive, Gokhale, and he died. In that 3 or 4 years, he gave a roadmap for Gandhi, how you should become one day the Prime Minister of India. How you should. Okay? This is the political. And Gandhiji has all the intention of political intention. He had all the political intention. At the end of the day, when he lost Kasturba, when he lost his own friends, he lost the interest in politics. Otherwise, he had a huge interest in politics. And the master behind this Gokhale, with his 2 to 3 years of their interaction, just 2 to 3 years of interaction, Gokhale and Gandhi, he gave a wonderful roadmap for how to become a good leader in Indian politics. And the initial thing was this Champaran Satyagraha. You should be a part of, you should be a leader for these kind of satyagrahas. Once, see, you know this Champaran Satyagraha, this was started in Eastern India. There he became a leader. Again, after very next year, he became a leader in Ahmedabad ministry, Western India. So in Eastern India, who is the leader? Gandhi. In Western India, Gandhi. Something which has happened in South, Moplas and all, something, indiscrimination in a community called Ejava, Narayan Guru, right? Here Narayan Guru is something installing in some Shivalinga in some temple, and he visited here also. So South he became a leader for these untouchables, like that. Wherever he got a chance, he entered there and he took the movement, and he came to limelight of the media and all. And he was not a good spokesperson or nothing. He was not a good spokesperson. He was not a well-built body. He didn't have any extraordinary voice. He didn't have any extraordinary voice. Then also he became a great leader through the roadmap which was blueprinted by his guru, Gokhale. Right? Next chapter, next when you should include mass behind you, etc. If you look at his initial satyagrahas, initial movement, that is not a mass movement. Okay, that is the elite sections movement. Only followers, he and his followers. So he know how to include masses. And the Uppina Satyagraha, he wanted at that time, Dandi March, during Dandi March, he wanted to include women for his mass movement. Because of that, he made Uppu as a concept. When salt was the concept, focus area of that entire Dandi March, salt was emotion for the ladies at that time, not today. Okay, because they are the center at the kitchen, right? They are the heroines at the kitchen, they are the owners of the kitchen in every family. So when he made Uppu as the salt as the main center of his Dandi March, he automatically included the women masses into his movement. Because of that, that became opinion Satyagraha. Otherwise, something other Satyagraha. So he wanted one revolt. Because of that, started. There is no freedom struggle. Every freedom struggle is created not as a necessity, but as their political stand. ಅವರು ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದೊಂದೊಂದೊಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, and in the name of against British, yes, definitely this is against British only, but not actually the same reason, because there is a back of the side another idea, individual development, political development. Alright, ನಿಮಗೆ again ದಂಡಿ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. I'll explain this. ನಿಮಗೆ ಶಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ಸ್. ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಂಡಿ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ನಾವೇನು ಉಪ್ಪಿನ ಸತ್ಯಾಗ್ರಹ ಅಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡದು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಲಾನ ಬ್ರೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಈಗ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಲಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದೇನು, ಅದನ್ನ ಬ್ರೋಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಾಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನಗಳ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋದಂತ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು, ಬಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಥೀಮ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ನಡೆದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಮಾಸ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲೀಡರ್ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿನೇ, ಬಟ್ ಥೀಮ್ ಯಾವ್ದಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹಂಗೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ. ಓಕೆ, that kind of politics, today's politics is nothing in front of our forefathers' politics. We are bachas in front of them, yes, chotas. They are the legend politicians. They used entire Indian masses. At that time, there is no education, proper education, there is no proper awareness, there is no media, there is no social media, nothing. So they started to follow the whatever leaders tells, right? So they started to play in the name of freedom movement. In the name of, they started their politics, right? Let us discuss this in future classes. So what we are discussing, which one is over? Indigo rebellion was over. Next, Pabna uprising. Pabna, PABNA. This is another peasant movement. Pabna uprising. Of 1872. Pabna uprising of 1872. The peasantry of Pabna region, they were agitated when price of agricultural goods fell down. Agitated. They fight it. AGATADD. When price MSP becomes low, means minimum support price of the agricultural goods becomes low. You know MSP? What is that? MSP is pre-sown or pro-sown? ಬೆಳೆ ಬಿತ್ತೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗೋದ, ಬೆಳೆ ಬಿತ್ತಿದ ನಂತರ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗೋದ? MSP ನಂತರ, ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಈ ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳೆದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಖಂಡಿತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ನೀವು ಈ ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳೀರಿ, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಏನದು, ಇರ್ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ while discussing agriculture chapter in economy. Irrespective of the market economy, we are going to procure your crops at least in this price, that is minimum support price. Okay, like that is there for all agriculture, not all, most of the agriculture crops. Even for sugarcane, something not MSP, something else is there, FRP. Okay, and even it is there for Areca, Adike ಇದೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? MSc ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಅವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಕೃಷಿ ಯಂತ್ರ ಮೇಳ ಆಗಿತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಶೋಭಾ ಕರಂದ್ಲಾಜೆ ಅವರು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ MSp ಫಾರ್ ಅರೆಕ ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಪ್ಪಿದೆ. ನೆನಪಿದೆಯಾ? Okay. The peasantry of Pabma agitated when the price of the agriculture goods fallen down. They could not pay the tax in terms of the cash. Tax in terms of the cash. Because why? Because the price for the goods was very low. How come they pay? So they requested the British government, we can pay the tax through goods. Goods means what kind of goods?
Their agriculture.
Their crops, their yields. So they disagreed, zamindars. The zamindars disagreed and the movement started and movement ended. How movement ended? I told movements, the zamindars disagreed, movement started and movement ended. How movement ended? These British, no, these Britishers, they suppressed these zamindars and they told just collect tax in the form of goods. And zamindars, they are forced to collect taxes through goods by this English. So, didn't get? See, these zamindars, they disagreed for the collection taxes through goods, right? They disagreed for collecting taxes through goods, right? So because of that, these peasants, they revolted against the British, against these zamindars, right? So movement started. They revolted means movement started. I told movement ended. How movement ended? They took back the movement. Why? These zamindars, they agreed to collect taxes through goods. Why they agreed? Because English told them to collect through goods. So is this successful or not? Pabna? Successful. What is another revolt which is successful? Gadkari. No. Ramosis. Gadkari successful or not? Gadkari? No. Okay. Again, Deccan side revolt is there. That I will do in our next class. Okay. What happened? ನಾಳೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾಳೆ?
ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಉಂಟಂತೆ ಸರ್ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ. ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಸಂಜೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬೇಗ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. ನಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್.
ಓಕೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ 6 to 8. ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಇರಲಿ ಮುಗಿಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್.
ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ.
ಏನು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್? ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೊ ಮಚ್.